In this video, we're going to have a look at time zones and time intervals at National 5 numeracy level. Here we just need to be able to work, because different time zones are like forward and back from our time. We need to be able to take that into account when we need to work out the length of a journey. So an aeroplane flies from Glasgow, Great Britain at 10:17 local time and arrives in Barcelona, Spain at 14:02 local time. The time in Britain is 1 hour behind the time in Spain. How long did the journey take? Okay, so we've got a few different routes here. Let's just try and set this up initially, and then we'll kind of go through the motions here. So we leave at 10:17 and we arrive at 2 minutes past 2. This is, let's just say this is British time. And this over here is Spanish time. In order to be able to complete this question, we need to make sure that our time periods are the same. We need to convert them both to be British time or both to be Spanish time. So Britain is 1 hour behind the time in Spain. So for example, if the time in Spain is 10 AM, the time in Britain would be 9 AM. So I think for this question, I'm going to convert everything to Spanish time. So Britain is 1 hour behind. So if I want to change this to be Spanish time, I'm going to need to add on an hour. I could have simply changed them both to be British time, and I would still get the same answer. So now I've both got in Spanish time, I can figure out how long this journey has taken. Usually it's best to do a time interval by doing it in little chunks. So sometimes it's helpful to jump on to the next whole hour. So from 17 up to 17 past until the next whole hour, I think that is that 43 minutes? And then from 12 until 2 minutes past 2, well, that's 2 hours, 2 minutes. Okay, so the journey length, the journey length was going to be 2 hours, and 43 and 2 is 45 minutes. I would have got the exact same answer if I converted them both to be British time. The most important thing is they're both the same in both the same time interval. Let's have a look at the second one. A flight leaves Madrid, Spain at 12:30 local time and arrives in London, Great Britain at 15:10 local time. So let's just set this up first. So we leave at 12:30 and this is Spanish time. And we get home at 10 past 3 and this is British time. The time in Spain is 1 hour ahead of the time in Britain. How long did the journey take? Okay, so once again with the different routes here. So once again, if we just think about what this means, the time in Spain is 1 hour ahead of the time in Britain. So if it is 2 o'clock in Spain, that's an hour ahead than what it is in Britain. So it would be 1 o'clock in Britain. If it was 5 o'clock in Spain, it would be 4 o'clock in Britain. So I'm going to change these both to be British time. So if it's 12:30 in Spain, it's going to be 11:30 in Britain. Because the most important thing is we get the same, get both times in the same time zone. So we want to figure out how long does this take. We jump on to the next hour, so that's going to be 30 minutes. And then from here to here, it's going to be 3 hours and 10 minutes. So the journey will last 3 hours and 40 minutes. Once again, you could have converted it the other way, you would still expect the same answer. Okay, 2 to go. We'll do this a wee bit quicker now. The Eurostar leaves Paris, France at 11:27 local time. So it leaves, and this is French time. and arrives in Great Britain at 13:08, and that's in British time. The time in Britain is 1 hour behind the time in France. How long did the journey take? So the time in Britain is 1 hour behind the time in France. So if it's 2 o'clock in France, it's 1 o'clock in Britain. Okay, so I'm going to change both of these to be British time. So if it's 11:27 in France, it's going to be 10:27 in Britain. So you just want them both to be in the same time period. Usually it's helpful to go on to the next whole hour. That's going to be 33 minutes. And then we can jump on, and that's going to be 2 hours and 8 minutes. So altogether, the journey is going to take 2 hours and 41 minutes. One final one. A train leaves Paris, France at 12:45 local time. So once again, we'll say this is French time. And arrives in London at 2:10, and this is British time. The time in Britain is 1 hour behind the time in France. How long did the journey take? So this time I'll change them both to be French time. So if the time in Britain is 1 hour than what it is in France, so if it's 3 o'clock in France, it's 2 o'clock in Britain. Or if it's 2 o'clock in Britain, it's 3 o'clock in France. I'm going to convert this here to be French time. As long as they're both in the same time period, we're happy. We'll count on to the next whole hour. That's going to be 15 minutes. That's going to take us up to 1 o'clock. And then that's going to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. That'll take us up to 3:10. So altogether, our journey is going to take 2 hours and 25 minutes. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that was useful. Thank you very much for your time.